It's 7 o'clock on my clock. Call this meeting to order. Just make a note that permission to film meeting has been requested and permitted. Individuals not wishing to be filmed should take this opportunity to move from the sight lines of the camera. I have a motion to approve the agenda, please. Nego, second. Councillor White. And discussion. Councillor White.
This is our first agenda under the new, it was redrafted under the procedure bylaw, and I'm just wondering about the order of business, and we added the words when applicable to different sections, all those empty headings that we talked about extensively, probably over a year ago now, and I'm just wondering if don't have applicability because there's nothing. But yeah, here it does, because we talked about it before.
Corporate officer.
Thank you, Councillor White. Yes, that's simply an over. Missing those.
I will mention them as I skip over them. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? That's carried. So proclamations. We've got it's the BC Healthcare Auxilliary Day. We've got Ms. Helen Carpenter here. Ms. Carpenter, would you be able to speak to this and anything you'd like to draw attention to? I noticed the annual report for the Healthcare Auxiliary Association is here and very informative.
Thanks very much. I'm here this evening on behalf of Vicki Forrest, who's the president of the Sunshine Coast Healthcare Auxiliary. She's the alternate nominee. On the Sunshine Coast, there are 6 branches, and I think I just lost the numbers that I carefully written out of the amounts of money that have been raised here over the past year. Every year, they submit to the healthcare budget on the coast well in excess of $300,000. Some years it approaches $1 million. Very, very well through their 6 branches. Next Tuesday, May 10th, is being proclaimed by the Lieutenant Governor as Healthcare Auxiliary Day across the province. Sunshine Coast Healthcare Auxiliary is a member of the umbrella organization called the BC Association of Healthcare Auxiliaries. We have 80 auxiliary members, and the numbers that all of our members have raised are within the proclamation. So I have here the original proclamation signed by the Lieutenant. Good evening.
Thank you, Helen. So, whereas the British Columbia Association of Healthcare Auxiliaries has 80 member auxiliaries representing 6,540 adults and 734 young people, all of whom enhance healthcare for British Columbians through volunteerism and community involvement. And whereas the BC Association of Healthcare Auxiliaries has been working diligently since 1945 to strengthen its member auxiliaries through education, information, and support. And whereas in 2015, member auxiliaries reported approximately 1,287,110 volunteer hours and $9,547,398 donated. Now therefore I, Jeremy Valeria, Deputy Mayor of Gibsons, do hereby proclaim May 10th, 2016 as BC Healthcare Auxiliary Day in the town of Gibsons. And thank you for the assistance with my first sharing of this. So I neglected to adopt item 3.1, adoption of minutes. Can I get a motion to adopt the minutes, please? Councillor Lumley, second Councillor White. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Thank you. And there are no delegations, petitions this evening. Committee of the whole from April 19th. Can I get a motion to adopt or receive the minutes from April 19th Committee of the whole, please? Councillor Sanjanko, second Councillor White. All those in favor? Opposed? That carries. At this point, 7.1.2 grant of assistance and 7.1.3, I have to declare a conflict of interest and step out of the room briefly because I'm a board member of Deer House and the Art Farm, which is the subject of these two items. I would like to make a motion that Councillor White, in my absence, chair the meeting for these two items. Can I get a seconder for that, please? Councillor Sanjenko. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? No, that carries.
So we're looking at item 7.12 and item 13. Motion for both or one time? Okay. Do that. Favor? Motion carries. I'll pass the chair back over to Deputy Mayor Valeria.
Thank you, Councillor White. Madam Corporate Officer, do we need anything formal for me to resume as chair? 7.1.4, grants of assistance, and this is the remainder of the list of grants of assistance. There's also, part of this motion is staff bringing back a report regarding the policy, for the purpose of reviewing and updating the policy of future committee of the whole, which we started down this afternoon. So I have a motion for this recommendation, grants of assistance, and the policy review. Sanjenko, second. Councillor White. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? That carries. 7.1.5, Gibsons Curling Club. This is consideration of alternative form of assistance to the Gibsons Curling Club, who were originally a grant of assistance policy. Can I get a motion for Gibsons Curling Club recommendation? Thank you, Councillor White. Second. Councillor Lumley. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Carries. 7.1.6, temporary use permit for 287 Gower Point Road, Christ the King Church. The recommendation for notification of neighboring property owners and publishing notice of the temporary use permit. Can I get a motion for this? Thank you. Second, Councillor White. Any discussion? Those in favor? Any opposed? That carries. 7.1.7, 967 Venture Way, which is the A&W. Recommendation, council direct staff to notify neighboring properties. Authorize a development permit BP 2016-01 based on drawings dated March 27th. Pending satisfactory review, landscaping plan by staff. Can I get a motion for 967 Venture Way? Thank you, Councillor White. Second, Councillor Sanjenko. Any discussion? Those in favor? Any opposed? Carries. 7.2 is the 7.2.1 is the late item. Town of Gibson's financial statements, which we reviewed this afternoon at Committee of the Whole. I'm advised by the Director of Finance that this should read that the Town of Gibson's 2015 Town of Gibson's financial statements as prepared by BDO Canada be received and accepted as presented. Can I get a motion? Thank you. Councillor White moves that. Second, Councillor Sanjenko. Any discussion? Those in favor? Thank you. None opposed. That carries. Number 8, Zero Waste Select Committee, 8.1. Any motion to receive the Zero Waste Select Committee meeting minutes from April 4th, please. Sanjenko, second. Councillor White. Any discussion? Councillor White.
Just, we did get a email notification of a resignation in the committee, and I think that was formally accepted by, I just wanted check, I got an email, I did ask about that. Should we accept that, do we need to accept that as council, or is that just?
Yes, you should accept it as council, and
After we accept it? Okay. So then,
My apologies, yep, that was the discussion, so I'll call the question on, receiving the minutes, all in favor? Any opposed? That carries. Councillor White's, is that?
I'll move that we accept the resignation of Eric Schwartz from Zero Waste Select Committee.
Seconder? Take a vote. Discussion. I haven't read it since it came last week, but I thought there was a conditional on that. I thought it was a resignation under a certain condition that was fairly subjective. So I'm wondering if this could come back to us as it wasn't truly a resignation. I don't know. The committee can really on that. Just concerns me that it wasn't a resignation. So,
The way I approached it as chair of the committee. But it did go to staff. I'm willing to stand by that.
absolutely, just wanted to ask the question. So any other discussion on that one? Okay, all those in favor? None opposed, that carries. Number 9.1, administration reports. Temporary use permit for 287 Gower Point Road. Price the King. So, can I get a motion to receive, first of all, please, for temporary use permit for 287 Gower Point Road. White, all in favor? Opposed? Thank you. And Mr. Director of Planning, would you, is there anything to highlight or that you'd point out for this one?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. This temporary use permit application has been discussed at the committee as a whole a couple of weeks ago, and you just passed the motion to put forward the notifications, but the notifications had been taken care of based on the direction of the committee. And this is a temporary use permit for another 3 years to continue to have Christ the King continue to operate there in the mid-level of the key building. Following the notification, we got 2 comments, one opposed, person with concerns about parking that's attached to the report, and also a letter of support. It's handed out today. You see, we do have representatives available from the church if there are any questions. Yeah, in terms of the parking issue that was raised, we do know as staff that if somebody else would use the site, similar issues would probably arise unless it could be a smaller use perhaps. But the other thing I should notice is that following some questions from council last time round, I asked Pastor Rowan to give us some more information on the types of uses and activities that are organized in the church space, and that's attached to the report as well. Thank you. Oh, Mr. Chair, and we should not forget to see if anybody wants to comment on this file. Thank you.
Do that first. I'll now ask if any person who feels affected by this application to get the opportunity to speak. Okay. And so we can get the motion on the floor for issuance of a temporary use permit. If councillors can have any discussion, but can I get a motion for the TUP 2016-01, please, for 287 Gower Point Road? Councillor Sanjanko, second. Councillor White. Any further discussion on the planning's discussion? Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Lummy, you're in favor? Oh, good. Okay. Sorry. That's carried. 9.2, development variance permit for 967 Venture Way, which is the A&W. First, a motion to receive the staff report, please. Councilor Sanko, second. Lumley, thanks. Discussion, all in favor? Opposed? That carries. Director of Planning, can you just briefly introduce this report as well, please?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. This file was also discussed on April the 19th. It's a combined application. The former character development permit has been discussed already and I think authorized a couple of weeks ago. This one is specifically for the variance permit. That's all with the notification results for you. The variance is specifically to provide a variance for the sign bylaw and allow for an increase in signage. I should note that that increase was already there. There was already more signage than was strictly allowed within the limits of the bylaw. So as part of the redevelopment, we're seeking to legalize that, if you will. Notification was completed. One expression of support in the staff report and one additional support handed out to you today. Thank you.
Thank you. And now, asking a person who feels affected by this application to speak. Seeing no one, I'll ask for a motion to authorize the issuance of development variance permit 2016-02 for 967 Venture Way. All right, second, Councillor Lumley. Discussion. All in favor? Thank you. And opposed? That carries. New order, thanks to our new procedure bylaw. We now have council reports, number 10. First is Councillor Sanjanko.
A quick report tonight. Councillor White and I went to a couple of good news events last week. One was the official handoff meeting between the Regional Economic Development Organizing Committee and the handoff to the board that had their first meeting last week. So it was nice to get everyone together and to just meet everyone and for them to meet each other and to see the regional board actually get up and going. And after that event at the Band Hall, the Seashell First Nation was the LEAP event, which is an accelerator program put on by Community Futures for Sunshine Coast entrepreneurs. So it was neat to see some small businesses pitch their ideas and get some support. And the last thing I just want to say tonight is probably most of us know people that live in Fort McMurray, and they're dealing with a pretty major situation there, and it's a really big, to me, it's another awareness call for us to just be oh so careful when we're outside. Forest fires are very real, and they certainly do affect our communities. I don't think anyone in Fort McMurray thought a week ago they'd be dealing with this, but we've got summer coming up, and another call out to really be smart.
Thank you, Councillor White.
My monthly report next.
Thank you, Councillor White. I'll make mine brief. I'm going for the 8:20 ferry, and unfortunately for me, it's not running an hour late, but fortunately for everyone else who's trying to get home. I will put some comments about the House-owned Community Forum, which was last Friday in a written report, which I'll be getting back to. Councillor Lumley. Thank you. 11.1 is late item added. Correspondence from MP Pam Goldsmith-Jones. Can I get a motion to receive that under 11.1, please? Second. All in favor? Opposed, that carries. Maybe I'll start this off by suggesting the question to staff. The way I read this letter, it's the end of May deadline is specific to the Canada 150. But I may be misreading it. Maybe I can just ask for staff's input.
Yeah, sorry, I was just going online there, and under the only deadline I've found so far is for Canada 150 that does not have a deadline, at least according to their. So I think the letter appears somewhat ambiguous. So it's not clear that whether that deadline applies, whether they have actually put a deadline on the Canada 150, or whether that deadline is just already placed in the letter and actually applies to the other two. I don't know if anyone else has got any other information on that.
Councillor White.
Yes, I'm confident that better priorities for the federal funding opportunities, aware of them, and actually the MPs even aware of them. So if there is some kind of deadline that it does need to be met, I'm confident staff will figure it out. Look after this.
We've done some looking into this, and it's I wasn't privy to the discussion as to what projects were on the or being proposed, but the one fund anyway is specifically for water, wastewater, and stormwater. Their Build Canada, they've got several funding announcements in here. So the Clean Water Wastewater Fund obviously is associated with clean water and wastewater, as I think goes for water or stormwater as well as sanitary. They do make reference to the New Building Canada Fund as well, which it has different parameters. And the announcement or the deadline and details of the Building Canada Fund hasn't come out yet. So the one that we may be faced with potentially making a decision on is the Clean Water and Wastewater Fund. And if you're interested, so if the 30-day deadline, it wouldn't surprise me. That's what we got last time. It's very, very short notice. You're scrambling. You need the background information, and you don't always have that background information. So we were faced with that last year with a 30-day turnaround. So it wouldn't surprise me to see that again. Hypothetically speaking, if we are talking about a 30-day turnaround for a water wastewater project, I don't know if council has had any discussion about that. I do have some comments and suggestions if you're interested in hearing them.
What kind of specific direction required? What I'm saying is I'm comfortable with leaving question, especially when it comes to water.
Basically, it's the one that the staff apply for a project that we feel has the most opportunity for success, and one of the other criteria is that we, in my opinion anyway, is one that we may have a challenge funding otherwise.
Yeah, that's I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable too. Maybe my question was just around the wastewater plant. We spent the previous grant money stuff for the upgrade.
No, we're spending the first of the smallest phase actually this year, and so far I haven't seen anything to say that we can stack the grants, and we can look at that to see whether we can stack the grants or not. But we already received approval for that. I think it was $1.2 million in grant funding for a $1.8 million project. So if we could stack it, you could potentially get, I don't know if it's 50% of 600 or, yeah, anyway, regardless, we've, I appreciate if you're comfortable with leaving it to us, then we'll certainly come up with one we feel has the most chance of success and most.
Thank you. I just have one question on the Canada 150. I didn't think that any of the ones we've discussed really fit in, but I did want to ask staff whether there's any discussion around the canoe museum project. It seems to fit with the reconciliation, youth, environment, and diversity. Is there any way of getting that in line under Canada 150, or is there another project that?
Okay, Mayor. Certainly, the Director of Parks, Cultural Services, Wendy Gilbertson, is in communication with the museum here and the museum folks. I think it was back in Peterborough that was pitching the idea of a virtual canoe museum. So it's certainly on the radar screen as far as just communication. I don't know how far those discussions have advanced. I know that it certainly, I agree, I think it fits well within the Canada 150 parameters regarding cultural and youth, etc. So I think that's something we could pursue in the next couple of weeks, just and bring back maybe to the next council meeting, kind of what the status of that project is at.
Thank you. I think we'll leave it there. We received the letter and stuff for all this week. So, no further discussion. Moving on to the bylaws. 12.1 is the financial plan. We gave it first, second, and third reading April 19th. It's a 5-year financial plan, statement of revenue and tax policy. Can I get a motion for adoption, please? White.
I actually moved it 12.1 to 12.5 and 12.7 be adopted.
I was planning to do 12.2 to 12.5 in one bundle just to keep it clean. If that works for everyone, we'll
Get them all right.
7.
I'll need it a second.
Okay. Second. Okay, so that's 12.1 to 12.5 and 12.7 all for adoption. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? That carries. So move on to 12.6 then. Loan authorization bylaw. This is for first, second, and third reading. Staff report. So can we get a motion to receive the Director of Finance's report, please? Councilor Sanjanko, second. Councilor White. Any discussion? All in favor? None opposed. That carries. Director of Finance, can you give us a thumbnail of this one, please?
Deputy Mayor, the reason for the loan authorization bylaw is in concert with the adoption of our financial plan, which includes a borrowing scenario for some road improvement programs planned for 2016. The borrowing procedure is very strictly laid out in legislation. It starts with the loan authorization bylaw. That needs to be approved by the inspector in Victoria. Once that comes back, council will then deal with the issue around notification through an alternate approval process. That in itself has some public newspaper notifications, a 30-day comment period, and then adoption. So the reason we're requesting 3 readings tonight is to get that process going, because there's a number of things that have to happen. We'd like to get, if it all goes well, to have that process wrapped up by the end of July, which in itself is late enough, so that we can get the construction window that remains.
Thank you. Any questions for staff? Any comments? Okay, can I have a motion for authorization by 1231? Thank you, Councillor White. Second, Councillor Lumley. All in favor? Opposed? That carries. 12.7 is dealt with. 12.8. So 12.8 and 12.9 are two bylaw notice enforcement, running in parallel with our, sign bylaw and our smoking, which we gave first reading to, and our smoking control bylaw, which we gave first and second to, so, I'll do these individually unless, 12.8, get a motion to give first reading to bylaw notice enforcement 112504. Thank you, Councillor White. Second, Councillor Sanjanko. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Left to oppose it, so that carries. 12.9, I get a motion for bylaw notice enforcement amendment 1125, first and second reading. Thank you, Councillor White. Moved. Second, Councillor Lumley. Thanks. All in favor? Opposed? That carries. Nothing under these headings. Note of upcoming meetings under 17. Thank you for that. That's very helpful. And appreciate the new number 16. Any inquiries? And asking under the new procedure bylaw that first inquiries be about something that's on the agenda, and once we've got through those, inquiries not related to items on the agenda. Inquiries? Seeing none. Oh, I'm sorry.
Just about the bylaw enforcement notice amendment with respect to the smoking regulation bylaw. Are those fines any different than the fines under the current bylaw? I'm not clear just reading.
Director Lanning, thank you for answering that one.
Yeah, for you, Deputy Mayor. These are new tickets and offences in this bylaw, because the smoking control bylaw. Oh wait, there is an existing one, of course. That's a good question. I don't recall that seeing that in this particular bylaw enforcement notice bylaw, because it's a fairly new tool that we use, whereas the smoking control bylaw that we have in the books is from the 90s. So there may be some offences listed in there. Sorry, and can't really prepare them, but I can follow up if you would like.
Thank you.
Any further inquiries? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn. Councillor White, second. Councillor Sanjanko. All in favor? Any opposed? None. That carries. Thanks very much. Have a good night.